When it comes to Dogecoin, a lot of things are happening right now that most of the world is still just starting to learn about. But as we start to see billionaires on top of billionaires on top of billionaires talking about how to make Dogecoin the cryptocurrency of Earth and even further, potentially the entire currency of Earth, you start to realize why there is so much potential here, why there is so much ability for the energy to pour in like never seen before with Dogecoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what's been happening over the last little bit of time here, as we have seen some of the most successful and rich people in the entire world, which is interesting, talking about Dogecoin and specifically how to make it the currency of Earth. If you are just coming into live, take a second to press that like button. One like press equals one new person coming into live. It works like a freaking clock. You can press it, one person comes in. I love to see it. It actually does help with the video to get out to as many people as possible. Also, make sure to subscribe with notifications on to stay updated on Dogecoin, on cryptocurrency, on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on every single thing we're seeing when it comes to big swings and moves in the market. If you want to have your finger on the pulse and know exactly what to do to make the most money, hopefully, in the market, and also see the biggest return for your investment, then definitely is worth it to join this channel right now. You can also check out the Patreon, the link in the description and pinned comment, the most successful cryptocurrency pick group in the history of Patreon, and that's not even an overstatement. I've looked at other ones. I've never found ones even close. Now, technically, we have had a couple that have gone up such insane amounts so fast that when they did come back down to earth some and stabilize, it looked like they fell a lot from the very top, but that's only because they spiked so massively at first. If it was just a normal cryptocurrency, it would have never spiked that massively and it would have just looked like a normal chart. So we're still waiting on some of the next catalyst for those cryptocurrencies. I still plan to put more money in to all the picks that we've done in the past, pretty much with a few exceptions, but that's why there is still excitement there. But here is the big news of the recent times. Can Doge truly be the future currency of the internet and the people? As we added the ability to send/receive Doge on Robinhood, I've been thinking about what it would take. This is Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood. I've been talking to him in the past over Twitter DMs. He is following us, which is nice because that means we can actually communicate with him. But as the CEO of Robinhood, he has a lot of power to do cool stuff. And we've been wanting them to actually take the reins and help Dogecoin more than they have in the past. They've been adding other cryptocurrencies like Shiba coin, and we look at that and say, well, that's cool if you want to do that, but we're here for Dogecoin. We want to see you be loyal to Dogecoin, not be adding other cryptos and focusing on that. If you want to do that later down the line, okay, that's one thing. But first, do what you can to make Dogecoin the cryptocurrency of Earth. So at least Vlad is starting to understand. Keep in mind, Vlad Tenev does not own 100% of Robinhood. Just because he's the CEO doesn't mean he can make all the decisions. It's a publicly traded company. So because of that, other people in the company can actually make some of those decisions. And so maybe Vlad would have preferred to stick with Dogecoin more so than any other currency, but maybe some of the other powers in Robinhood decide to actually add others anyway. First off, transaction fees have to be vanishingly small. He says, we're already there. Also, if you just came to live, yes, you can take a second to press that button. It actually does help to get more people in. Also, if you have not joined the Patreon yet, I highly recommend checking it out. It actually is very worth it. And we have some more updates coming soon, including one on Accept Crypto and what's going to happen in terms of a rescission, which is likely to start soon for that. Now, the plan is not official yet, so wait until we actually hear the official word before we actually know what's going to happen. But just expect something coming soon for that. All the money still sitting there in the wallets. It's still in the liquidity. It's still in the team wallets that are directly associated with the team. Any tokens like that, all still there. And all of that money, the intention is for it to be basically a rescission. That's what's going to happen, almost certainly. First off, transaction fees have to be vanishingly small. We are already there. As of November's 1.14.5 update, typical transaction fees have been 0.003, which you can experience on a Robinhood app, compared to the 1 to 3% network fees that major card networks use. We're talking about the Visa, MasterCards of the world that charge you a heck of a large amount every time you make a purchase. There's actually more tax than you think. So if you live in California, for example, not only do you have to pay, if you make a high amount of income, not only do you have to pay over 50% on taxes alone, the highest rate I believe there is like 13% or 14%, something like that, then also you have to pay the federal tax rate, which will probably be like 40%. So already you're over 50% to 53%. Then also when you buy stuff, you have to pay tax on that too. That can be as high as, anywhere from 1 to 5%, just depends on what you're purchasing. So then you add another 4% onto that. So now we're getting closer to 60%. Then now also on top of that, when you use credit cards to actually purchase stuff, then you have to pay another fee. So really, if you live in somewhere like California, you only actually get like 30-something% of your money, which is truly insane. I mean, think about that. If you live somewhere else, you can actually get a much higher percentage, but even still, that's a lot of money you're giving to these companies. Dogecoin can solve that. And then he continues on with some more. He also shows this, the network fee 0.002 on Robinhood. Now they do have the wallets available. Thank you for that, Robinhood. We appreciate that. But ideally, the block time between successive blocks, they should have done a long time ago. It took them a very extended time to do it, but still, it's good to see. The chain to verify transaction should be fast enough that the transaction can be recorded in the block in less time than it takes to pay at a point of sale terminal. So there we go. But it shouldn't be so fast that miners start building up too many competing chains and waste excessive amounts of energy establishing consensuses. So basically, he's trying to find the perfect... Come on, Sneeze. You couldn't have waited till the live was over. What were you thinking? Okay, are we going to have to roast the Sneeze? Let me see a couple chats coming in. This one says, let me go ahead and read that. Dogecoin down. I hope Elon buys Twitter and accepts Doge. I think it may actually happen. He put in an offer, $40-something billion. In order to actually do that, he would have to sell probably around 70 billion, maybe 80 billion even of Tesla stock, because he has to pay taxes on it, remember. So he can't just sell only 40 billion of Tesla stock, he didn't have enough. He has maybe 10 billion in cash currently, I believe, and that's pre-tax. He's still gonna owe some of that for taxes. Maybe he can find some loophole around it if he's buying a company directly with it. Maybe he could find some way to trade Tesla stock for it. So there are options on the table, but if he does want to just straight up acquire all of it with cash, that would be a very costly thing, because it's gonna cost him a lot of money in taxes, but doesn't really matter, because whenever he sells at any point in the future, it'll cost him a lot of money in taxes. It could, however, make some people upset, because he would have to sell 70 billion in Tesla stock, which is like close to 8%, 5%, something like that of the entire market cap of Tesla right now. Do you think Doge will burn coins, or is that even needed? No, Dogecoin does not own any coins, but we, the people, if we want to, can slowly burn some Doge. For example, if you want to burn a little bit of your Dogecoin on a daily basis, like maybe if everyone's doing that, yeah, it actually would help. But no, the Dogecoin core itself does not own any Doge right now, so a burn would not be possible in that way. But Elon Musk, though, billionaires could actually buy up a bunch and then burn it. That is something I actually foresee happening. Ideally, the block time would be between that, but then he says, but it shouldn't be so fast that miners. So basically, he's trying to get into more details. Doge's current block time is 1 minute. That's a bit on the long side for payments. A 10-second block time would be more appropriate, as it would be less than the typical time spent completing a debit card transaction. So there we go. 10 seconds is what the aim is here. That's certainly a possibility on the table. 1 minute, really not bad. 10 seconds, even better. Currently, with a 1 MB block size and a 1 minute block time, Dogecoin's throughput is 40 transactions per second TPS. Then as we move over here, we can see, he says, as a comparison, Visa's network can theoretically handle 65,000 TPS. Doge would need to be able to significantly outperform Visa, which entails increasing throughput by at least 10,000x, not impossible, doable. Fortunately, this is easy to solve simply by increasing the block size limit. Moving to a 1 gig and later 10 gig block size limit would provide all the throughput a global currency would need for the foreseeable future. L2 solutions are not necessary to solve this problem. Also, another thing people aren't thinking about, Elon Musk could just simply buy a bunch of computers and mine Dogecoin on a huge scale, and then cause the inflation rate to go significantly down by simply burning the Doge after mining it. That would be cool to see. Obviously, we would like that. That's one option. Now, critics will claim that this will come at the cost of enthusiasts being able to run a full node on a Raspberry Pi at home. Processing 10 GB blocks per minute will require more sophisticated hardware, and I think that's actually a fair trade-off. I agree. Sorry, home miners, you had to run. Another criticism, I mean, maybe you still can if you want to upgrade your computer there. Another criticism of Doge is that it's inflationary and the supply is infinite, as opposed to Bitcoin's infinite supply of 21 million coins. 5 billion new Doge are created every year. The current supply is around 132 billion. This results in a current inflation rate of, it's around 4.5%, something like that, which is actually less than USD right now. So that's a positive thing. Moreover, the fixed issuance means that the inflation rate actually declines over time, and in a couple of decades will be below 2%. Another cool thing to think about for long-term viability. Dogecoin core devs, I would focus on one thing, coming up with a good process for increasing the block size limit over time. Let me know what you all think. So an interesting thread there. Jack coming in with a little bit of shade saying, you thirsty? Come on, Jack. there's the first billionaire that commented. Then we also have Billy commenting, this thread is good. And Elon Musk says, as I was saying, which is obviously nice. Then as we continue to move along, we also see Doge's current block time is 1 minute. This is a bit on the long side. That's what he said. Elon Musk then responds, 6 seconds, better said, as 6,000 milliseconds, which is a long time to computers, is about right. Then Billy says, he's the one who coded Dogecoin. He did not create it. He did code it, though. The creator is actually Jackson Palmer. Then Jackson Palmer reached out to Billy, or Billy reached out to Jackson Palmer and said he could help him code it. But yeah, Jackson Palmer created, Billy coded. Anyway, so as the coder, he says, I picked 1 minute blocks 8 years ago because someone on Bitcoin Talk said 45 seconds on a different chain was causing lots of issues, and 60 seconds was the fastest without having too many issues. The faster, while still secure and better in my opinion. I would guess, though, that the infrastructure of the web has improved enough in 8 years to experiment with speeding it up. There we go. So that's the signal right there that the Dogecoin devs, he actually is in talks. He talks to them. He does. And so that's a signal that could happen. Exactly. Block size and time should keep pace with the rest of the internet. So there we go, some positive things all across the board there. So that's exciting. We could end up seeing Dogecoin seeing some significant improvements across the board, and that could lead to it becoming the currency of Earth. The real big kahuna would be Elon Musk buying a bunch of mining machines and then using those to actually mine and burn Doge, significantly decreasing the inflation rate, actually making it possible that it can be the currency of Earth significantly easier without having to wait for that percentage to be lower. So that's one thing I would love to see. That could basically solve pretty much every single issue right there. So Elon Musk, please help us out. You got the ability to do it if you want, and I think he actually probably will, considering the fact that he's now looking at buying Twitter, would take $40 billion. He's only doing that because he wants to make the world a better place. So why would you not think then maybe he wants to also do that with Dogecoin too, make the world a better place by implementing things there. So I actually expect it to happen. He's smart. He's going to come up with a solution. I'm going to try to reach out to him and make sure this happens. But anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.